Hello, everyone, and welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined once again this week by my co-host Gordon Chatterton, and we are going to be talking about Ohio State, Texas from last week, Kentucky, Toledo, and previewing some games this week. And we've got a new segment in this week too. Gordon, welcome back, man. How you doing? How was it last week?
Last week was a good week. I was impressed by the defense, unimpressed by the offense.
Yeah, it was. If you liked offense, that was not the game for you right there, the Ohio State-Texas game for sure. But, man, it's good to have football back. We got the NFL back last night, too, in a strange start to the season. Before a snap was even took, Jalen Carter is out here spitting around on Dak Prescott, and he gets thrown out before the game gets started, really.
I think that really gave away to how the game turned out. I don't think the Cowboys' offense would have looked that good if Jalen Carter would have still been on the field. He causes too much disruption.
Yeah, Javonte Williams doesn't get 2 touchdowns and looks like the way he does if Jalen Carter's in that game, I think,
It doesn't look like close to Ezekiel Elliott as a rookie if Jalen Carter's still in the game.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, that changed the complexion of it right there. And, it happened off of an injury. I think he said their fullback got injured on the kickoff, and then they start getting into it a little bit, and then the spit starts flying, and they even said, I guess, Prescott spit towards him, I think, is what they were showing on there at one point in time. And then Carter, I guess, the second person to spit gets caught.
Yeah, I kind of see it, but yeah, you shouldn't spit on somebody. I saw Eagles got away with a couple of them too. I mean, but it's okay. It's the NFL, and this is how it works. Second person always gets caught.
At least they made it entertaining, and that's something you could talk about. Like, all right, we're already starting the season off like this. Football is so back. I'm so glad NFL's back. We got an NFL game tonight, too. I mean, in Brazil, which your team's familiar with, so I'm sure the field is going to be in perfect condition for those guys down there, and everything's going to be fine, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be perfectly almost like a skating rink, more like it was last year.
And then Sunday we got Sunday, which is going to be awesome. All the games, everybody's back. Your Packers got the Lions, Bengals got the Browns. What do you think about Sunday's games? How you feeling about Sunday?
I like Sunday's games are gonna be awesome. I mean, there's the stuff you don't know that kind of brings the excitement into it, but then there's the things that. Okay, for example, like my team, how many snaps is Michael Parsons going to play, and what kind of impact is he going to have during them snaps? I'm predicting 25, unless it's crunch time at the end, he may play a few extra. But I think they're going to have packages where he's just going to be going after Jared Goff, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, and I think that, he hasn't really been, it's kind of like Trey Hendrickson. Neither one of these guys went through training camp. They've got to knock the rust off a little bit, so they may not be the same. They may not be in complete football shape just yet. And plus, Parsons I guess they found some issues with his back, earlier this week.
Yeah, from what I read, it's the L4, L5 ligament. It's not disc related, so that's good. So they said they got on anti-inflammatories. I think it was more of a. Well, see, he's actually got a little bit of an injury, so that's why he didn't participate in camp.
Right. But, it's still going to take some reps and some time to get into that football shape. And like I said, same thing with Trey Hendrickson. I mean, I look for him maybe not to have such a big impact in week 1 and 2, but get into week 3 and 4. Definitely when the Pack play the Cowboys in that revenge game for Parsons, he's definitely going to be out there ready to go and in football shape.
Yeah, by that time, he's going to be, as long as he stays like this, he'll be 100 by that day. He'll be good.
No doubt about it. So we talked about the game last week, the big game. The number 1 team in the land, the Texas Longhorns, roll into Columbus, and they face the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes. We both predicted the Buckeyes win on this podcast, and we were both correct, sir. So, Gordon, what were your thoughts on the Texas-Ohio State game? How did you feel about it?
I felt pretty good. Like I said, I was kind of hesitant on whether I was going to be celebratory beforehand or not, because Arch Manning is an athlete. But they had 4 downs to get a yard to get in the end zone and couldn't do it. Like you talked about before, not on here. That goal line stand for the Buckeyes is a real thing. They don't like giving up. I mean, last year they did it multiple times, and I know they did it once. I think they did it twice, where they did a goal line stand and kept them out. Their offense really shaky. Wasn't. I'm kind of hoping that was just a Texas defense and first game jitters, but if they play like that, they're going to make me really nervous all year long.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heavyweight defensive slugfest, right? I mean, it was two heavyweights out there battling, and defensively, I mean, both teams awesome, defensive-wise.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just, you know, two teams out there playing. It was two powerhouses. You know, the defending national champs and one of the teams that was in the Final Four last year. And both of them showed that they got elite defense and they've got national championship aspirations. It wouldn't surprise me to see these two teams once again in the playoffs fighting for a national championship or a chance to play in a national championship once again.
I 100% agree. Arch Manning clean up his game a little bit and just saying, start actually, you know, maybe navigate the pocket a little bit better, be able to get Jeremiah Smith more involved. It'll open up. But that run game for us that's got me scared because I figure I expected more from James Peoples. He averaged 2 yards a carry. Two.
It's two more than me and you did combined.
Well, that's probably 3 more than I could have done if I was on the field. I'm not a very good runner.
Me neither. I'm more of a power back.
I am neither. I'm not
so
a power.
So the Buckeyes won the game 14-7. There was a lot of not scoring. I mean, it was conservative game plans on both sides, really. I mean, they kind of kept things close to the vest most of the game. But it was a statement from Ohio State's defense. Everybody was talking about Arch Manning beforehand, and they kind of shut him up. Quarterback Julian Just Saying made his debut, too. And, you know, he hung in there. I don't know if he did anything spectacular or not. Arch, one good pass. Arch, you know, he's a junior now, but he's really getting his first shot. He was contained most of the day by Ohio State's defense until the fourth quarter when they were like, okay, we got to start doing something. And then he kind of looked a little bit better. But Ohio State, they scored in the second quarter. I mean, because it was 0-0 until the second quarter. And then finally they get some points on the board. And then the fourth quarter, 14-0. And then Texas scores make it 14-7. So if you waited till the fourth quarter, which I personally did not, I watched the first half, and then Kentucky played Toledo. Now I switched over to Kentucky and Toledo, and I kept an eye on this game here. And I was like, man, it's still 7-0. And man, it's going to the fourth quarter. It's still 7-0. And all of a sudden, there's your offensive explosion, if you want to call it. 21 points being scored or 14 points being scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that one pass I was talking about was a pretty good. I think it was 46 yards. It was 47-yard pass that hit Carnell Tate in the end zone. So
yeah,
I mean, he played a good plan. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. Arch Manning, on the other hand, we did get him once. We picked him off.
Yeah. And Sayin went 13 for 20 with 126 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Carnell Tate had 2 catches for 49 yards. So I believe one of his catches was for a lot longer than that, right? Did you say 40?
Yeah, it was in the 40s.
For a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. So that's where all his yards come from, one catch.
And then Jeremiah Smith had 6 catches for 43 yards, which was surprising. He had that many catches. But also what surprised me in that first quarter, man, he had a little case of the dropsies there on a couple back-to-back plays. That doesn't happen with him.
No. Me and you, I was sitting there watching the game, and he was sitting there packing his hands. Then he changed his gloves, and then he didn't drop another pass. So Nike must be making him gloves because it has to be the gloves.
Yeah, it's got to be the gloves. Those dang gloves, man. You got to get rid of them. Got to change them up every once in a while.
Put a little stickum on them.
Put some stickum on them. C.J. Donaldson, he had 67 yards rushing. I mean, that was a kind of a surprise, the transfer from West Virginia.
Yeah, they've talked about it. He dropped 20 pounds. So evidently he was a little 20 pounds heavier and come to Ohio State with a different workout regimen. Dropped like 20-some pounds. I heard him talking about it. Of course, I didn't know. I don't follow West Virginia, so I had no idea what his weight was there.
Well, I would say that's probably the difference in Ohio State and West Virginia football. Ohio State gets you in shape, and West Virginia is just like, you know what? We're fine with being 4th in the Big 12. It's okay. Do what you got to do. Arch Manning went 17 of 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did not look like a Heisman Trophy winner to me in this game, according to what everybody was saying. The hype was all up there, and the Buckeyes just completely was like, nope, not today.
Yeah, no, you're not adding your resume on our watch.
No. Quintravion Wisner had 80 rushing yards, so nobody in this game cracked 100 rushing or receiving.
No. I will say this. That one catch by Parker Livingstone for Texas in the fourth quarter, that was a hell of a grab. That was an aerial one-hand stab, so I won't give him credit. That was a good catch. He went in between two Buckeyes and pulled it down.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, so Texas, they outgained Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Had the edge in rushing, but the red zone and fourth down inefficiency, going 1 for 5 on fourth downs, did not help their case at all in that game.
No. Like I said, twice they had 4 tries like within the 5 and couldn't punch the ball in. One time they had first and goal on the 2 and couldn't get the ball in. 4 tries, could not move the ball in.
Yeah, that's a stout defense they were going up against there. If they could have punched one in one time, this could be a whole different conversation right here. But Ohio State, they stayed clean on the turnover end.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't give up anything. They played a clean game, and man, it was just defense all the way. All Ryan Day, it was all defense.
But yeah, like I said though, that was more of what I was used to seeing from Ohio State defense, like from when I was in my 20s and 30s. The goal line defense was, the days of A.J. Hawk and Carpenter and Schlesinger and Laurinaitis.
So Jeremiah Smith, does he return punts?
No, but they was going to try to get something started. I think that's the only reason why he was back there, because he wasn't. They was actually covering him really well. So they put him back there to return a punt once, but by the time it got there, everybody was there, so he just had to fair catch it like everybody else did. Like, nope, can't get you started this way.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want him back there constantly returning punts, your star wide receiver like that. But to get a spark, I remember a few years back, Kentucky was playing Missouri, and Missouri was up like 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Kentucky had Lynn Bowden, and they put him back there to return punts. And he ended up taking one to the house, making it 14-7, and that lit a spark. Kentucky couldn't do anything offensively that day. Lit a spark in that team, and Kentucky ended up winning 15-14, and that was all because they put their star wide receiver back there. So it can jumpstart an offense. It can jumpstart a team and get them momentum. So, I mean, I could see why they put him back there.
Goes a long way. Yeah, I remember when they used Lynn Bowden back there, but I also remember when they had to use him as quarterback.
Yeah, they did. That was a couple of seasons afterwards they used him as a quarterback, and I actually made a bowl game that year. I would actually take Lynn Bowden right now as quarterback. Which, you got anything else you want to add to the Ohio State-Texas game before we head on to our next topic?
No, we're good now. I think we covered that pretty good. About as good as we could cover it.
Oh, yeah. So that brings us, as we talk about Kentucky, and that'll bring us to our next topic, and that is the Kentucky Wildcats defeated the Toledo Rockets last week in Kroger Field 24-16. Gordon, what was your thoughts on the Kentucky game? I know it was during the Ohio State game. You were keeping up with it. We were kind of keeping each other tabs on each other's games. So what did you think about it?
Kentucky played a good game. I know Toledo was probably better than what I thought, because, like I said, I don't follow them much because they're not in my market at all. But I was kind of disappointed in the quarterback. He didn't play real well. When they went to the next guy, I mean, he's going to have to get a little bit cleaner. And if Kentucky, I still think Kentucky can take. I think they can keep it close. Ole Miss possibly maybe eke one out, but they're going to have to get better play from that quarterback, Calzada. I mean, I didn't think they was going to start a quarterback at the beginning of the season, that shaky. But, Ole Miss is a lot better than Toledo. So. Oh,
definitely. So, Kentucky, they won 24-16. It was 10-2 for like half of the game, it felt like. Kentucky, they grinded it out against a scrappy Toledo team who came back, seemed like they were trying to make a comeback towards the end. It's 24-9. One of the bright spots on the offense, and there was not a whole lot. Transfer Dante Dowdell had he had a breakout game. He had a 79-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. And then Seth McGowan had 76 yards on the ground, and he was pretty good as well, running back-wise. Quarterback, Zach Calzada, which I believe I ordered a Calzada at Giovanni's the other night. It was pretty good. But he's in his 7th season in college, his first in Kentucky. He was very unspectacular, I guess you could say, subpar. I mean, I think that's fair, right? He managed the game pretty good, ran the ball decent, but he struggled through the air. He was off on several throws down the field. Anytime there was a long pass down the field, it was not even close. Some people think that it's not all on Calzada. His wide receivers couldn't get separation, which is true, but at the same time, you still shouldn't be overthrowing 15 yards down the field if your wide receivers can't get separations, right? I mean, it shouldn't be that far off.
No. Well, I guess his mentality is that, well, if I can't throw it to my guy, nobody's going to catch it because there shouldn't be nobody within 15 yards away from the play.
I guess it's his thought process, but man, it was brutal to watch him anytime they passed. Unless it was to a tight end. Josh Caddis had a pretty big day. He caught a few. Willie Rodriguez, he's the backup tight end, but he's got a lot of potential. He could be a stud tight end out there. But he had some good catches. He had a fumble too that cost Kentucky. But the wide receivers, man, I'm worried about the wide receiver room right now and the quarterback room. I don't know if it's the quarterback or it's the wide receivers or if it's both. But I wasn't too happy with them Saturday.
What I watched, I wasn't either. You was looking for a word. The word that was coming to mind when it came to Calzada and the wide receivers was underwhelming.
Yes, underwhelming is a good one, yes.
That was the one that came to my mind while I was watching it. The overthrows, I can't necessarily say they was in harm's way because there was no one around it. So I guess if you're looking for a bright spot on them, there's one. They wasn't pickable because there was nowhere near anybody.
And so Toledo, they were, they're favored to win the MAC. They've got their experienced quarterback in Tucker Gleason. They got Chip Trainum back there. They kept it close. They tried to make a run in the fourth quarter, kind of like Texas did with Ohio State. So they had a rushing touchdown late, passing touchdown late. But Kentucky's defense for the first 3 quarters played lights out. They looked like an SEC defense at that point. The fourth quarter, they kind of, whatever. But I really was impressed with Kentucky's defense on Saturday. Alex Safari had 13 tackles. Sack'em Souls is the second year at Kentucky. That's his nickname. He had a sack. Just, good defense. I thought the defense was going to be this team's strength, and I still feel that way right now.
On the defense, from what I watched, the strength is your defensive line. The D-line is because, without a D-line, if you don't have a good D-line, I don't care how good your cornerbacks are, they're going to get thrown on all day long. But
yeah, and the cornerbacks, they've got the experience back there. Everybody back there is back from last year. So, there's the experience back there, but you're right about the up front, man. Most of them are new up front, but they were impressive.
Yeah, they didn't they was pushing. They was breaking through from the part of the game I saw, which was later, of course. It was normally, I think it was after halftime was whenever I was able to tune in. Mm-hmm. They was pushing quite a bit. They wasn't getting stymied a lot at the line. They was getting through.
Yeah, and it was, it was Toledo. I get it's Toledo, but Toledo is one of the upper group of 5 teams. Got a realistic shot of getting that playoff spot. They do. But for Kentucky to still go out and kind of dominate them on defense was a bright spot for the team.
Yeah, there's that silver lining on the game.
Yeah. So the scoring first quarter, Calzada, quarterback sneak, made it 7-0. And then the second quarter, Toledo sacks Calzada in the end zone, bringing it 7-2. And at that point, what are we doing here? Like, what? Why are you trying to set up a pass at that point in time? Kentucky offensive coordinator Bush Hamdan, I don't know if he's trying to hold back some things for Ole Miss. I surely hope so, because if that's the best you can do right there, that is very disappointing. But you got to run the ball right there at the 1-2 yard line, right, to make sure you get out of your end zone.
Yeah, you got to give yourself some breathing room. You need to at least get to the 5.
Yeah, and Calzada, even if he's a 7th-year quarterback, he's got to know, I'm in my own end zone here. Just run out of the pocket, chuck that thing out of, away. you've been doing it all game anyway. Nobody's going to think anything different.
Yeah. If that's his best game plan for Ole Miss, what would you say his name was?
Bush Hamden. Yep. He's from Boise State. So at Boise State they like to run the ball and pass the ball at a 50% rate. And I think that's what he's trying to do here at Kentucky. And, buddy, that's not going to work like that. You can't do your game plan to make sure everything's 50-50. You just can't do it.
Well, if he pulls out that game plan against Ole Miss, people are going to think he's drinking a lot of Bush.
Yeah. Oh, man. So then Kentucky, they got a field goal right before the half there to make it 10-2. It's like somebody hit a 3-run home run here, you know. And then the fourth.
When did Ellie go to Kentucky?
Well, Ellie hasn't hit a home run since July, so it wasn't him. I know that. Anyways, then transfer running back Seth McGowan got a touchdown in the fourth quarter, made it 17-2. And then Tucker Gleason scores, made it 17-9. And then Dowdell gets that 79-yard touchdown, made it 24-9. I felt pretty good at that point in time. And then Toledo gets a late touchdown to make it 24-16, which was closer than what the score. I mean, the score was closer than what the game actually was.
Yeah, that last score come whenever they wouldn't have had enough time to get the ball back and go down the field and score again.
Dante Dowdell had 129 yards rushing on 14 carries and a touchdown. Seth McGowan had 78 yards rushing. Zach Calzada went 10 for 23 for 85 yards. He threw a pick. He got a safety. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. Sorry. I gave the wrong clap. The glove clap.
So that is definitely a weakness for Kentucky coming into next week's game against Ole Miss's offense, because Ole Miss, they're going to put up a lot of offense. Like I said, we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But, Kentucky, they kept it balanced, passing and rushing. Whether they had success on both of those, probably not. Definitely not. I mean, 85 yards. Most of it was to the tight ends. There were 3 wide receivers that had a catch for Kentucky. Only 3. That's it.
Wide receivers only had 1 catch?
3 catches. 3 different receivers had a catch. That was it.
Okay.
Your tight ends, though, they had tight ends got a lot of catches, but only 3 wide receivers. That's not good.
No. That's bordering crappy.
That's really crappy right there. But, man, it is what it is, I guess. So Kentucky gets a win. A win's a win, and you got to take that. I'll take it. I'll take a win, week 1, college football. Yeah, man. You got anything else you want to add to that game before we head to our next part?
Yeah, the only thing is it's like the rule whenever Tebow was in the NFL. It doesn't matter if he's kicking the ball down the field. It doesn't matter how you win as long as you win.
That's it. Just got to get a win, even if it is against Toledo at home. Toledo's going to be all right. I mean, still I'd like to have won that by at least 2 scores. Whatever.
Well, I'd like to have won our game by 3, but
And now that brings us to a new segment we're going to do on this show, Gordon, and that is...
Yell or no yell?
There it is. Yell or no yell. Which I've got 5 topics I'm going to come out. I'm going to give Gordon those, and then we're going to either say whether we yell or no, we pretty much agree with that. Or we're going to be like, no, that's not how that goes. So, and Gordon's got 5 for me as well. I will let you go ahead and you give me your first one, and I will tell you if it's yell or no yell.
Okay. I'm kind of new at this. I'm going to go with who I think is going to win, like certain types of divisions, whether it be pros or college.
All right.
First one, I think that the winner of the SEC is probably going to be the Georgia Bulldogs this year. What's your opinion on that?
I'm going to yell about this one. I'm going to disagree with you. I think that the winner of this one, and I'm going to be crazy because I may be drinking the juice because this one right here, it's going to be one of my topics here after a while. I think LSU wins it this year. Interestingly enough, I don't think it's going to be Alabama, who also is one of my topics after a while as well. But yeah, man, I think I'm going to disagree with you on this. I think LSU is going to win this division this year. And I don't think Brian Kelly is really that great of a coach, but I was impressed last week with him against Clemson a little bit.
All right. Okay.
All right. You want to go with your next, or you want me to go on with mine?
No, you can do your first.
All right, so I'll go on with mine, and we'll stick with that theme. Gordon, yell or no yell with me here. I think Garrett Nussmeier is your Heisman Trophy winner for this season.
No. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I'm going to yell at that one.
Okay.
Even though he had a decent game, he didn't impress me when I what I watched. Yeah, I get it. He was against the. I'm not saying my quarterback is not going to win it. I mean, because he's not. Just saying, he ain't even going to get close to it. He ain't going to be able to sniff that one. He might be. Nussmeier might be in the top 5, but I don't think he's going to win it. If he wins it, it's just going to be because the other 2 guys ahead of him is not quarterback.
All right. Well, hey, there we go. Look at this. The first 2 topics for both of us, and we're already disagreeing with each other. This is fun. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Gordon. Hey, tell me what your second one is, and I'll see if we yell or no yell here.
Okay. Second one is I'm going to go to the pros. I know we normally talk about college, but I'm going to skip over there real quick.
That's fine.
I think we're going to have a few new teams in the playoffs this year coming up. In the NFC, I'm going to guess that 2 teams. I don't know if they're going to win a division. Probably not. But Giants, Falcons, and Dolphins and Chargers are all going to go in the playoffs. 2 from each side. They wasn't in there last year.
So who'd you say was in that you had?
Giants and Falcons. 2 different, the teams that no one's thinking is going to make it. And then on the AFC side, Dolphins and Chargers.
Okay. So I'm going to half yell at this and half no yell.
Okay,
I agree with you. All right, let's split it up. Yeah.
The NFC will be 1, and then we'll turn the AFC as the second one.
Okay, sounds good. The AFC, I'm going to yell at on this one. No. The AFC, I'm going to no yell. I'm going to agree with you. I think that the Chargers make a playoff push. They get into the playoffs. It all kind of depends on what we see from them tonight in Brazil to see if they've got the same kind of magic they got last year with Harbaugh as coach. And then the Dolphins, can they stay healthy? If they can stay healthy, Tua is one of the more accurate quarterbacks throwing passes down the field. Now, Tyreek Hill helps that out a whole lot, but I can see him making the playoffs once again, getting back in there. I'm agreeing with you with the AFC side, Gordon.
Okay, we'll hold off and we'll make the NFC the next one. So you go ahead with your second.
All right, so my second one, Arch Manning is going to turn out to have a really good season this year.
I'm going to agree with that because he's not going to see defenses like what he saw in Columbus. So by the time he comes to another big game, he's going to have that experience and then timing with his receivers down the field. Actually, to be honest with you, even with the horrendousness at the shoe, which with the first road start, not really a good place to go. I think he's going to be in the top. I think he's going to be in the.
I can see it too, man. I just think that everybody's dogging on Arch Manning, and they're not really giving credit to the Ohio State Buckeyes for the way that they played him, game plan. That is a tough place to ask a young kid, I don't care if you're a Manning or not, to go in your first collegiate start, to go and to ask you to live up that hype in a game like that. Maybe later on in the season, if he would have played Ohio State, but the first game like that, no, man. I mean, you've got to give the kid more credit, and I think he'll turn it around, and I think he'll have a really good season.
Yeah, I think he's going to be, I said, pretty much, if I had to guess, he's either going to be the Heisman winner or he's going to be the backup. He's going to come in second.
And so, look, 2 topics in. The first one we disagreed on. The second one we agreed on. So, here we go. Our third one, Gordon.
Now, we'll go back to the NFC where you said you had a disagreement with me. Giants and Falcons make the playoffs.
I am not with you on the Giants. I think Brian Daboll is going to get canned. Russell Wilson's going to get benched by week 5 or 6 for Jackson Dart. And either week 3, it may be week 3. I can see it. I wanted Jameis to start because, Mr. 30 for 30 is the most exciting quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Bar none.
He's going to chuck it. It doesn't matter who comes down with it. Someone's going to come down with it and probably score a touchdown.
And the Falcons, they're like the definition of 8 and 9, right? Like every year. Penix, did he show a whole lot last year when he played in the 3 games that he started? I don't think he really did. But now he's going to be the subject of. He's going to be a part of one of my topics here in a little bit. But I just think that I don't know. That division's winnable. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Liam Cohen as offensive coordinator isn't as scary now because they've got to, deal with that. So I can half agree with you. I'm yelling about the Giants, and I can see the Falcons.
Okay, my philosophy behind picking the Giants was their defensive line.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
phenomenal. And they're going to
Yeah.
be hard to score on. And if you can't score, you can't win. That's an old Rex Ryan thing. And I think they got a decent run game. If they can just get anything out passing, they might actually get to 10 wins. And there's a
Well, they got Malik Neighbors and Wandale Robinson. So, I mean, they got a pretty good little 1-2 punch right there. It's just the quarterback play is the thing.
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy wasn't bad last year at running back.
No. And Falcons, my pick on that is maybe they'll actually figure out how to use their tight end, Kyle Pitts, and actually use Bijan Robinson early in the season to get control of the games. If they do that, last year they started winning games when they started using Bijan Robinson more, and the games where Pitts was actually targeted more than twice, and he had like some contribution, like 4 or 5 catches. They was close. I mean, they didn't get ran over. So that was my philosophy behind picking them.
I mean, hey, I can see that. Bijan, I think that he's going to have a great season. Plus, I hope he does. He's my fantasy running back. So I like Bijan last year. I thought, like you said, once they utilized him, he was great. Cousins is still lingering over there. What are we doing here? Like, you give him that big contract. He played horrible. He's done. Get rid of him. Nobody wants him, though. That's why he's still on the team, I assume. But Penix, can he keep it up for a whole year? I don't know. That was some of the issues he had at Indiana before he went to Washington, was injuries. If he could stay healthy, I could see it.
All right.
So that brings me to mine right here. And since we're talking about Michael Penix, mine is the next one. Kalen DeBoer will be the Alabama head coach at the beginning of the 2026 season.
Okay, I can actually go along with that because it's a very high buyout.
Yes, that's why I said that.
Yeah, it'll be a buyout. But he loses another game like that, I believe they're going to throw out a collection plate. Everybody, all the Alabama fans will throw in $100 and they'll come up with the money to send him the hell out of the door.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, they played, that was atrocious.
And Thomas Castellanos talked smack to him before the game and went out there and backed it up. Nick Saban wouldn't have let that happen. If he talked smack before that game, or he wants his head on a platter, and they would have brought it to him.
Oh yeah.
Not Kalen DeBoer.
No, he would have. If it'd been Nick Saban, he'd have had him so juiced up that it come out, it looked like they had rabies coming out of the tunnel.
Yeah, and so the thing is, Kalen DeBoer should probably send some paychecks Michael Penix's way for helping him get that Alabama job, because he got that job because his quarterback at Washington that last season was Michael Penix Jr. So that's where the Michael Penix comes in there. But so we're no yelling on this one, right?
Oh yeah.
You agree? Because the only reason I say DeBoer is coming back next year is because of that high buyout. He'll have a great 8-4 season at Alabama this year. Alabama fans are going to be pissed that he's still there, and they can't buy him out yet. So they're stuck with him for a little bit.
Yeah, but I said though, he loses another one like that, they might turn around. Fans might be taking up a collection plate to meet the buyout money.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, because man, that's not Alabama football, and those fans are crazy down there. So that's my third one. Gordon, who you got? What do you got for your next one?
I said I'm going to go with who's going to win divisions and conferences. So okay, Big Ten, my team is actually going to run the table.
I'm no yelling on this. I agree with you. I think they're running the table. I don't see anybody that's beating them.
Well, the caveat is Rondé's got to figure out how to beat that garbage pile above them. He does that, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they'll beat him this year. Michigan's down. I mean, they play Oklahoma tomorrow, so we'll see how they do against a big-time opponent. And I think that Ohio State, the schedule's not hard after the Texas game there, really. I mean, they got a few games, but...
Well, they got Penn State.
I ain't scared of Penn State. James Franklin in big game, you kidding me? That's give you the dub right there.
And then we got, of course, that team up north. Like you said, we'll find out tomorrow if they're for real or not. If that quarterback that they're hyping is actually as good as they think he is. Hey, I was thinking, give us tape on him. But yeah, I mean, there's a few games that kind of... Then there's always them bugaboo games where you're thinking, who in the hell just walked off the bus? Because it wasn't Ohio State Buckeyes. Like when they go to Perdon't.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? one time it was Purdue, the other time it was the Iowa Hawkeyes. The one where Josh Jackson got a first-round draft pick because of that game because he picked off J.T. Barrett 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a game where they're out there sleepwalking, but I still think that they'll probably run the table in conference. Once it gets to the playoffs, I mean, we have to see how the matchups and stuff are. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think they run the table in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah, no,
sure.
I'm not picking them to – I'd like to see them win another national title this year, but I don't see it happening because they don't – the quarterback hasn't shown me any pocket presence yet.
So my next one is Kentucky quarterback Zach Calzada will not finish the season at starting quarterback for Kentucky.
I'm yelling with you on this one. No, after that one, if he has a rocky start in the first quarter, I think he should be riding a pine pony from then on. Because regardless if you've got 7 years as a starting quarterback, I mean, to me, I kind of figured there's a reason why he hasn't been a starter much of any reason why he's still in college because he can't make it in the pros.
Yep. I agree. I mean, Cutter Boley's sitting over there on the sidelines. Now, he didn't beat him out. People's like, well, if you have to go to Cutter Boley, that tells you that you're giving up on the season. What? How can he do any worse than what Zach Calzada did? He can go out there and overthrow it and it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
What's it matter? I mean, I think that you give the guy a chance. He's younger. He hasn't been in school as long. And you give him a shot if Calzada continues to play horribly. And if Cutter Boley doesn't cut it, you just cut your losses this year and you go out and you try to get you a decent quarterback next year. Now, don't go get a seventh-year guy or something. But, I mean, I think that he's not going to finish the season as a starting quarterback. So give me Cutter Boley, and here we are. We're agreeing once again.
Yeah, on that subject, just one thing on top of it. A lot of people they're not practice guys, but when the pressure's on is when they actually start playing good. There's been a few guys like that.
Yeah, so it's going to be, if he comes out and he plays like he did last week against Ole Miss, I think you've got to give Cutter a shot in that game. I really do, because I think Kentucky can beat Ole Miss, but the quarterback play's got to be improved from last week. It's got to be.
Yeah, you got to sustain drives. You got to keep your defense off the field. I mean, I think that's kind of what led to Kentucky letting Toledo come back is because their defense was on the field a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Played lights out for 3 quarters, and then at the end, they're like, okay, whatever, we're going to ease off a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we're tired. It's nap time.
Yeah, offense isn't doing anything for us. So last one for you, and then I'll have one for me.
Okay, last one. I had 2 different places I wanted to go, but
Hey, go both of them if you want. That's fine.
no, I'm going
to hit them both.
I'll have to have one for next week too. Don't
Okay.
worry. One of them will still be there forever, at least for the rest of this year, anyways. Okay. Talked about at the beginning. Micah Parsons, well, like I said, we talked about before. I said Micah Parsons will be between 20 to 25 snaps, and they'll try to max out at that. Like I said, but I don't think they're going to need to. But 25 snaps in the first game, and that's it. He's going to be sitting there watching the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think that I'm going to no-yell with you there and agree. Parsons, like I said before, hasn't went through the full training camp, just trying to get acclimated into the system and to get his conditioning and stuff down, get back into football shape. They will play him. They will play him in big situations, but he won't play the whole game. Like you said, 25 snaps. I'm with you on that. I think that's the right move to make as well, too.
All right.
And now, my number 5, yell or no yell topic. Bill Belichick was not the main reason for the New England Patriots winning all them Super Bowls. It was Tommy Brady.
I mean, okay. The last 5 or the last 4 that they won, yes. The first ones, Belichick was the main reason why they won the first 2. Because, I mean, you couldn't hardly score on New England, which is why a lot of 3 field goals won games and stuff like that. But after that, it was all Tommy was responsible for 4 of the 6.
Yeah, and it's clearly it shows now because once Brady went to Tampa Bay, he goes and wins the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick struggled the rest of his time in New England. Absolutely struggled. Then he make the playoffs. Then he leaves the Patriots, takes a year off, goes on the Manning cast on ESPN, all that. Then he's like, I want to get back into coaching. Goes to North Carolina. The other night, North Carolina goes up 7-0 against TCU, and you're like, Belichick's got it. He really is a genius. And then TCU just smacked him all over the place the rest of the game. And it's like, okay, this is going to be a long year for North Carolina down there, I believe. What do you think, Gordon?
North Carolina, their main issue is he did what Prime did when he went to Colorado. Got rid of everybody. There's like 70 transfers. There's no cohesion. And did you happen to catch who his offensive coordinator is?
Who was his offensive
Freddie
coordinator?
Kitchens.
Freddie Kitchens.
Oh, Cleveland Browns head coach.
Oh, I know he's still got Steve Belichick over there, who is, different. Oh, man, who was that guy that coached San Francisco that every time you looked at him on the sideline, they showed him, he's just like, what was that guy's name? Who was it? Jim Tomsula.
Yeah, Tomsula.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, man, I miss that guy. Bring him back just for that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Your team's losing by 40.
Every time they showed him, I swear, he's just like,
yeah. Your team won by 60.
What do you think about quarterback Colin Kaepernick? It's great.
Oh God.
So,
yeah,
he was a character to watch out there, and that's kind of like Steve Belichick right now, who's not going to follow in his father's footsteps. I don't think he's going to have it. No. So I think Bill Belichick, he's about done. He should just go off, get married, and live out the rest of his years in retirement. Yeah, to that 24-year-old.
A woman young enough to be his great-granddaughter?
Hey, those two young kids, man, you just can't stop love, right?
Yeah.
Man, yeah, you got anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
All right.
I wrote down 5 things, 6 things. The other thing was Jerry Jones has lost his mind.
I'm no yelling on that. I agree with you totally. Jerry Jones has lost his mind. And like you said, we could talk about that next week after that, 5 weeks from now. Jerry Jones has lost his mind. End of the season. I mean, Collinsworth was trying to make it sound like, Jerry Jones knew what he was doing last night. It's like, come on, Collinsworth, what are you talking about? He's a crazy old man.
He has to. You can't dog Jerry Jones, or otherwise, he won't be allowed in if they do a Sunday night football game in
Dallas.
He'll be
can't come into Jerry world, yeah. Can't come into Jerry world out here bashing Jerry.
Yeah, you can't make the billionaires mad. I mean, your life will be rough.
Yeah, got to suck up to him, I guess. So before we get out of here, let's look at the Ole Miss Kentucky game real quick, preview it.
All right. I
mean, Ohio State's got Grambling, right? So we already know. I'm pretty sure you're going to pick Ohio State in that game. I'm picking Ohio State because why wouldn't you? This should get some reps in for some of the backup guys. Julian just saying should look better this week. All that good stuff, right? Anything you want to add to that, Ohio State Grambling?
No, just get better timing between the receivers and just saying.
And these games like that, that's what they're for. They're just tune-up games to help them out for later on in the seasons.
Yeah, they played a rough game last week.
Yeah, and now Kentucky, Toledo wasn't the easiest opponent for week 1, but they also weren't the toughest either. So you talk about toughness and stuff. We'll host number 20. I think they're number 20 this week. Is that right? They were 21 last week. They're 20 this week. They moved up one.
Okay.
And they face the number 20. They host the number 20 Ole Miss Rebels. Kentucky's 1-0. They've got 50 new players. They barely made it past Toledo. The Rebels are also 1-0, and they beat down the Georgia State Panthers 63-7. They were explosive, quick strikes. Lane Kiffin, he likes throwing it around. They got new starting quarterback down there in Austin Simmons. For Kentucky, this is a chance for them to prove that the defense is SEC legit, and it's time to prove that maybe they were holding some stuff back on the offensive end. And for Ole Miss, it's a revenge game for them. Last season, Kentucky upset Ole Miss down in Oxford, ruining a potential college football playoff appearance that has hung over Lane Kiffin's head all offseason. I know that he's looked forward to this game. He circled this game all offseason. Gordon, what are your thoughts on it?
I severely hope he was holding something back, because if that's what he's bringing against Ole Miss, I don't like Kentucky's chances, because Lane Kiffin likes to run that 5 and under offense. 5 seconds and under to snap the ball, not giving the defense any time to get set up. I mean, they're still walking around, getting ready to get down their stance, and all of a sudden the ball snaps. Got to stand back up and start running. That's it. So, if the defense plays like their line plays like I think, they're not going to be able to run that really fast offense because you don't want to do hurry up when you're losing yards. But you're going to have to sustain some because I mean, Ole Miss can say, okay, we'll play this for a while, wear you down, and then fourth quarter when your defense is worn out because your offense can't do nothing, we'll just strike on you then. So I don't mean to bring you down or nothing, but I mean like you said, bring in. What year is that one guy? The one you want to take over for Calzada?
Cutter Bowley, he's a sophomore.
Bring him in.
Red shirt. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes is for being in competition and heavy competition to wake someone up and actually have them play good. I'm not saying that's the problem. There are some players that's been out there that are just not practice guys. Yeah. You didn't know what they had until you put them in game situations.
That's the best way to learn is be in a game situation. Kentucky's strength is clearly so far their running attack between Dowdell and McGowan. The most explosive running back they had last year was Jamarion Wilcox. And I don't know if you might not have seen anything going on with him right now, but he's in some legal issues right now. I don't know if he's even going to play. He's suspended right now. He may not even be on the team. Just some not good stuff. Yeah.
He's still in Kentucky?
He's still at Kentucky, but he's suspended. But I don't think he's going to be back on the team from the allegations that are out there right now with him. And then Ole Miss on the other side, like you said, the tempo, man. They like running that. Simmons, he's a young guy, but he's got weapons. He's got Lacey, the running back, had 108 yards, 3 touchdowns last year. He's got some receivers. I know they lost some receivers last year, but there's some more there. For Kentucky, they kept this game close. The last 4 years, these have been great games. Kentucky won last year. The year before, Ole Miss just barely beat them. The year before that, Will Levis was sacked. Close to the end zone, got hurt. But, I mean, it was a close game. It's been a close game every time these two get hooked up together. So, for Kentucky, they've got to shorten the game. Stoops he's going to play some Stoops ball, run the clock, keep the ball in Kentucky's hands, minimize possessions for Ole Miss's offense. And on the defense, it comes down to the trenches. Can they get some pressure on Simmons? Like you said, it's 5 seconds and under, and they're ready to get it out of there. Can you get to him really quick and make him make some throws? I mean, he's a young guy, so he's prone to make mistakes, right? Like all young quarterbacks are.
Oh, yeah. They get pressure with the front four, and maybe every now and then throw someone else. They got a real good shot because then they can push them back, and you're not so willing to keep running a high-tempo offense if you keep losing yards.
Yeah. And Ole Miss, they like to spread it out, too. They like to throw it to the running backs out of the backfield. They like to throw it to receivers, tight ends, all kinds, just to try to – I mean, everybody's going to have to cover somebody out there because they may be getting the ball. So Kentucky's needs to try to get to the quarterback some here, so – we'll see how it is, but I think if I'm predicting this game, Gordon, I think it's all going to depend on if Kentucky can get the running game going, have Calzada, if he plays, decent to not make any stupid mistakes, I guess. Maybe use your tight ends. Go 12 personnel like I was telling them to do last week. Run the ball. Keep the offensive possessions out, and then maybe kind of lull them in. And I mean, he had a big pass to J.J. Weaver down the sideline last week for 34 yards. It got called back, but he's capable of going downfield. He's got a threat to go downfield. Do that every once in a while. Run the ball. Keep the ball out of Ole Miss's hands. I've got Kentucky winning this game. Give me the Cats. 27-24. Kentucky wins against Ole Miss. Second year in a row. Gordon, who you got?
Remember, I told you last week, if they get competent quarterback play, it doesn't have to be good, just competent, I think they can beat Ole Miss. So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take Kentucky, but it's not going to be, to me, that would be a high-scoring game for what I think Kentucky's going to need to do to win. Final score, 20-14.
I like it. It's Kentucky win either way. I like it. Before we get out of here real quick, some games going on this week. Alabama should bounce back against Louisiana Monroe. If they don't, my prediction that Kalen DeBoer makes it to next season is going to be off the table. So, if you lose to Louisiana Monroe, you should just go ahead and just start packing it up. You agree on that, right?
That's why I said if he loses that one, this is another game they should win. They
Yeah.
should have won last week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There is only one top 25 matchup, and that is Michigan-Oklahoma. Who you like in that one? That one is in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 5.5-point favorite at home. I know who you like in that one.
Yeah, give me Oklahoma by 10. I'm gonna say make it 31-21.
I like it. I think that's a pretty good prediction there. I'm going to go with you. Oklahoma wins this one. The only top 25 matchup. I don't think there's any other. There's no big marquee games this week. It's week 2, week 3, week 4. Week 3 and 4 is usually when we start getting some big matchups. Conference games start and everything. Kentucky Ole Miss is the only SEC conference game, and they decided to take like SEC Nation to Kansas and Missouri, and it's like Kansas ain't in our conference. Why not come to Kentucky and cover the only SEC game? But whatever, who cares?
Well, the reason why they took the Kansas-Missouri game is because that used to be a big rivalry game. That was the war.
It did, but it's SEC Nation.
Yeah.
Kansas ain't SEC.
No. I get your point there, but Missouri is, so I think that's probably why they're there, because they figure there's going to be more eyeballs on it because it's a rivalry game.
But is Missouri really SEC? I mean, come on. They're in the Midwest.
Not really. No, they should have never been allowed admitted into the SEC.
No,
Although
they definitely should.
They did have a couple good years. Not great, but good.
Well, the first 2 years in the conference, they went to the conference championship. So, I mean,
yeah,
they started out pretty good.
Yeah, but who did they play in the conference championships? They played Georgia and Alabama, wasn't it?
Auburn one year. They played Auburn and Alabama. Yeah.
Auburn and Alabama.
It didn't work out well for them. They didn't win either time.
No. They didn't. They didn't get neither jack nor squat.
No. So that'll do it for us here this week. Gordon, you got anything else you want to add on this podcast before we sign off this week and get ready for some football and hop back on here next week to talk about what happened this week?
No, I think I'm good. I think we'll probably have a pretty good time watching football, maybe placing a wager or two here or there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Thanks, A.J. Brown, last night for screwing up my bet slip, and we'll see if I can just make up for it this weekend. But for now, we'll catch you all next week here on Yelling from the Couch.
All right. Peace out, buddy.